You are hemorrhaging power, and you don't even know it. Right now, at this very moment, there are people in your life draining your energy, stealing your time, and sabotaging your future. And the worst part, you're letting them. You think you're being a good person. You think kindness is a virtue. You think helping others is what separates you from the animals. Machiavelli would call you dangerously naive. He understood something that modern society has tried to erase from your consciousness. Not everyone deserves your help. In fact, most people who ask for it are predators in disguise. They see your generosity not as nobility, but as weakness. They see your open hand, and they take the whole arm. And when you finally collapse under the weight of their problems, they will step over your body and find the next fool to bleed dry. The moment you open your wallet, your calendar, or your heart to the wrong person, you have signed a contract written in your own blood. You become their servant. You become their safety net. You become the reason they never have to grow up, never have to take responsibility, never have to face the consequences of their own stupidity. Machiavelli wrote in The Prince that a ruler must learn when to be cruel, to be kind. He must learn to recognize the difference between a worthy ally and a parasite. The same applies to you. If you want to build an empire, if you want to protect your sanity, if you want to have anything left to give to the people who actually matter, you must become ruthless in your charity. You must learn to say no without guilt. You must learn to see through the tears, the sob stories, the manipulations. Because there are 7 types of people walking this earth who will destroy you if you let them. And today we're going to unmask every single one. By the end of this, you will feel something uncomfortable. You will feel the urge to defend the leeches in your own life. You will hear their voices in your head making excuses. That's your conditioning talking. That's the part of you that was taught to be nice, to be accommodating, to sacrifice yourself on the altar of other people's dysfunction. We're going to kill that part of you today. Not because cruelty is the goal, but because discernment is survival. Machiavelli didn't write his works to create monsters. He wrote them to arm the intelligent against the ruthless. So let's begin. Let's talk about the 7 types of people you should never, ever help. Type 1, the professional victim. You know this person. They are everywhere. Every conversation with them is a tragedy. My boss hates me. My parents ruined me. The economy is rigged. My ex destroyed my life. Nothing is ever their fault. They are the eternal casualty of a cruel, unfair universe. And when you first meet them, you feel sympathy. You want to help. You want to fix them. You offer advice. You offer money. You offer your time. And what happens? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. 6 months later, they're still in the same hole, still telling the same story, still waiting for someone else to save them. Machiavelli observed that people do not change their nature. A man who blames the world for his suffering today will blame the world tomorrow. He is not looking for a solution. He is looking for an audience. The professional victim is addicted to their own misery because misery gives them an identity. It gives them attention. It gives them power over empathetic people like you. When you try to help them, you are not helping. You are enabling. You are feeding the addiction. You are confirming their delusion that they are powerless. And here's the psychological trap. The more you help them, the more they resent you. Because your success, your stability, your ability to solve problems makes them feel inferior. Deep down, they don't want to climb out of the pit. They want you to jump in with them. Machiavelli would tell you to walk away. A prince cannot afford to surround himself with those who refuse to fight. If someone is drowning and they refuse to grab the rope, let them sink. Your energy is finite. Spend it on people who want to swim, not people who want to pull you under. The professional victim will drain you until there is nothing left. And when you finally collapse, they will find another savior and tell everyone that you abandoned them. Cut the cord. Feel no guilt. They chose the victim role. You do not have to play the rescuer. Type 2, the chronic borrower. This one is insidious because it starts small. Can I borrow $20? Can you cover me this time? I'll pay you back next week. And you say yes because you're a good friend. You're a good person. You have the means and they have the need. So you give. And next week comes and they don't pay you back. But they have a good excuse. Something came up. Something unexpected. And you nod. You understand. Life is hard. So you let it slide. And then they ask again, and again, and again, and suddenly you realize you're not a friend. You're a bank. Machiavelli warned that people will take as much as you allow them to take. Generosity without boundaries is not generosity. It is self-destruction. The chronic borrower has no intention of paying you back. If they did, they would have done it the first time. They are testing you. They are seeing how much they can extract before you finally say no. And every time you say yes, you lower your value in their eyes. Here's the dark truth. When you lend money to someone who doesn't respect money, you are not helping them. You are subsidizing their irresponsibility. You are teaching them that consequences are optional. You are teaching them that someone will always be there to catch them when they fall. This creates a toxic dependency. They start to see you not as a person, but as a resource. And resources are used until they run out. Machiavelli understood that power is respect. If you give without receiving, you are not loved. You are exploited. The chronic borrower will never respect you because respect is built on reciprocity. When the relationship is one-sided, the person taking feels entitled, not grateful. And when you finally cut them off, when you finally say no, they will turn on you. They will call you selfish. They will call you greedy. They will rewrite history and paint themselves as the victim of your cruelty. Let them. Their opinion is worthless. Your financial stability is not. Never lend money you cannot afford to lose. And never lend to someone who has a pattern of not returning it. The moment they ask the second time, without repaying the first, you know exactly who they are. Believe them. Type 3, the emotional vampire. This person doesn't steal your money. They steal something far more valuable. Your peace. Every time you interact with them, you feel exhausted. Every conversation is a crisis. Every text is an emergency. They call you at midnight because they need to talk. They show up at your door unannounced because they're going through something. And you, being the empath, the fixer, the nurturer, you open the door. You listen. You console. You absorb their chaos. And when they leave, you feel hollow. You feel drained. You feel like something has been taken from you. That's because it has. The emotional vampire feeds on your energy. They do not want advice. They want a dumping ground. They want someone to carry the weight of their unprocessed trauma, their unresolved conflicts, their inability to regulate their own nervous system. Machiavelli would ask you a simple question. What are you getting in return? Friendship is an exchange. Love is an exchange. Even family relationships are supposed to be reciprocal. If you are always the one listening, always the one giving, always the one fixing, you are not in a relationship. You are in a hostage situation. The emotional vampire will never solve their problems because their problems are their identity. If they solve them, they would have nothing to talk about. They would have to face the terrifying void of their own responsibility. So instead, they keep you on speed dial. They keep you emotionally tethered. And the more you help, the more they need. It's a black hole. Machiavelli observed that a wise prince must conserve his resources. Your emotional energy is a resource. When you pour it into a bottomless pit, you have nothing left for yourself, for your goals, for the people who actually reciprocate. You start to feel resentful. You start to avoid their calls, but you feel guilty for avoiding them. That guilt is the chain they've wrapped around your neck. Break it. Set a boundary. Stop being available every time. Type 4. The jealous saboteur. This one is dangerous because they put a smile on your face. They call themselves your friend. They celebrate with you when you win. But watch closely. Watch their eyes. There's something dark behind the congratulations. There's something cold in the hug. The jealous saboteur cannot handle your success. Every time you level up, they feel like they're falling behind. Your promotion is their failure. Your relationship is a reminder of their loneliness. Your confidence is an attack on their insecurity. And so they sabotage. They do it subtly. They ask you questions designed to plant doubt. Are you sure the job is right for you? Don't you think you're moving too fast? Maybe you should be more careful. They disguise their poison as concern. Machiavelli knew that envy is the most dangerous emotion in human interaction. It is silent, it is patient, and it is deadly. The jealous saboteur will undermine you in ways you won't notice until the damage is done. They will spread rumors, they will twist your words, they will befriend your enemies. And when you confront them, they will act shocked. I was just trying to help. I'm your friend. Remember, here's how you identify them. They never share your wins with others. They never amplify your success. They are always present for your struggles, but conveniently busy when you're thriving. When you talk about your goals, they change the subject. When you talk about your achievements, they one-up you with their own story or they minimize yours. That's not that big of a deal. I did something similar last year. Machiavelli advised that a prince must remove those who smile in public but scheme in private. If you help a jealous saboteur, if you bring them into your inner circle, if you share your strategies, your plans, your vulnerabilities, you are handing them the knife they will use to stab you. Do not confuse proximity with loyalty. Do not confuse history with trust. Just because you've known someone for 10 years doesn't mean they want what's best for you. In fact, long-term acquaintances are often the most envious because they remember when you were equal. Your rise reminds them of their stagnation, and they will do anything to bring you back down to their level. Stop helping people who secretly hate you. Stop sharing your dreams with people who are praying you fail. Stop being loyal to people who are only loyal to the version of you that stays small. The jealous saboteur doesn't deserve your time, your resources, or your trust. The moment you sense envy, create distance. Silence is your shield. Success is your revenge. Type 5. The perpetual schemer. This person always has a plan, always has an idea, always has the next big thing. They're going to start a business. They're going to invest in crypto. They're going to write a book. They're going to change their life, and they need your help. They need your money, your network, your credibility. They pitch you with passion. They paint a vision so vivid you can almost see it. And because you believe in people, Because you want to support ambition, you say yes, you invest. You introduce them to your contacts, you vouch for them, and then nothing happens. The business never launches, the investment disappears, the book never gets written. But 6 months later, they have a new plan, and they need your help again. Machiavelli would call this person a con artist, but not the illegal kind. The socially acceptable kind. The kind that uses your goodwill as a credit card. The perpetual schemer is not a dreamer. Dreamers execute. Schemers talk. The schemer is addicted to the fantasy of success, not the work of success. They love the brainstorming, the excitement, the attention. But when it's time to grind, to sacrifice, to face rejection, they vanish. And they always have an excuse. The market wasn't right. The timing was off. The partner screwed me over. Notice the pattern. It's never their fault. If you keep helping the perpetual schemer, you become complicit in their delusion. You become the enabler that allows them to keep chasing shiny objects instead of committing to one path. Machiavelli observed that a prince must judge a man not by his words, but by his results. Talk is the cheapest currency in the world. Anyone can say anything. What matters is what they do when no one is watching. What matters is whether they follow through. The perpetual schemer will waste your time, your money, and your reputation. Because when their scheme inevitably fails, people will remember that you were involved. They will associate you with failure. Your credibility takes the hit while the schemer moves on to the next victim, the next investor, the next sucker. Stop helping people who have a history of not finishing what they start. Stop funding people who have never generated a return. Stop introducing people who have burned others in your network. Your name is your brand. Protect it. If someone wants your help, they must first prove they can help themselves. Show me the traction. Show me the work. Show me that you've put skin in the game. If they can't, walk away. The perpetual schemer is a black hole for resources. And once you're in, it's hard to get out without looking like the bad guy. So don't get in. Let them scheme alone. Type 6, the ungrateful taker. You help this person and they act like you did the bare minimum. You give them a ride. They complain about your music. You let them stay at your place. They complain about the Wi-Fi. You lend them money. They ask why you didn't give more. The ungrateful taker has a twisted psychology. They believe the world owes them. They believe that your help is not generosity, but obligation. In their mind, you should be grateful that they're allowing you to help them. It sounds insane, but this mindset is more common than you think. Machiavelli warned that ingratitude is a natural human vice. People forget favors quickly, but remember slights forever. The ungrateful taker is the extreme version of this. Not only do they forget your kindness, they rewrite history to make you the villain. You gave them a job. They tell people you exploited them. You gave them advice that worked. They claim they figured it out themselves. You supported them when no one else did. They say you were controlling. This is not an accident. This is a defense mechanism. To accept that they needed help, to accept that they were vulnerable, to accept that someone else had power over their situation, it destroys their ego. So they deny it. They minimize it. They erase you from the narrative. Machiavelli understood that gratitude is rare because it requires humility. And humility is the hardest pill for a prideful person to swallow. If you continue to help the ungrateful taker, you will never be appreciated. You will never be honored. You will only be used. And the moment you stop giving, they will turn on you with a vengeance. Because in their mind, you were always supposed to give. You were always supposed to serve. Your refusal is a betrayal. Here's the test. After you help someone, watch their behavior. Do they thank you? Do they acknowledge the sacrifice? Do they offer to reciprocate in any way? Or do they act like it was expected? Do they immediately ask for more? Do they take and then disappear until they need something again? If it's the latter, cut them off immediately. No second chances. Machiavelli believed in swift, decisive action. The longer you tolerate ingratitude, the more it becomes the norm. The ungrateful taker must learn that your help is a privilege, not a right. And privileges can be revoked. Stop helping people who don't say thank you. Stop helping people who take your generosity for granted. Stop helping people who make you feel stupid for being kind. Your kindness is valuable. Treat it that way. Type 7, the ideological leech. This is the person who wants you to fund their cause, their movement, their vision of a better world. They don't ask for help for themselves. They ask in the name of justice, equality, and progress. They make you feel guilty if you say no. If you don't support this, you're part of the problem. If you don't donate, you don't care. If you don't signal your virtue, you're complicit in the suffering. The ideological leech uses morality as a weapon. They have discovered that people will do almost anything to avoid being called a bad person, and they exploit that fear ruthlessly. Machiavelli wrote about the dangers of appearing virtuous versus being effective. A prince who tries to be good in all things will be destroyed by those who are not good. The ideological leech wants you to fund their performative activism while they do nothing of substance. They want you to share their posts, attend their rallies, donate to their causes, but they never ask what you need. They never ask what you're struggling with. They never offer to help you. Because in their mind, you are the privileged one. You are the one with power. You are the one who must atone. This is a psychological trap. They frame themselves as the righteous underdog and you as the oppressor. And if you accept that frame, you will give and give and give until you have nothing left. Machiavelli would tell you to reject the guilt, to question the cause, to ask, where is the money actually going? What are the results? Who benefits? Most of these causes are black holes. The money disappears into administrative costs, into salaries, into conferences and marketing. The problem never gets solved, because if it did, the industry built around it would collapse. The ideological leech is not interested in solutions. They are interested in moral superiority and financial extraction. If you refuse to help, they will publicly shame you. They will call you heartless, selfish, ignorant. Let them. Their opinion is theater. Your resources are real. Machiavelli advised that a prince must care more about results than reputation. If helping someone makes you poorer and them no better, it is not charity. It is stupidity. Stop funding guilt trips. Stop donating to causes that have no accountability. Stop letting people emotionally manipulate you in the name of justice. True change requires competence, not virtue signaling. And true helpers don't guilt you into giving. They inspire you with results. The ideological leech will never be satisfied. There will always be another cause, another crisis, another reason you need to open your wallet. Protect your resources. Give to people and organizations that produce tangible outcomes. Everyone else is noisy. So here we are, 7 types of people you must never help. The professional victim who refuses to rise. The chronic borrower who bleeds you dry. The emotional vampire who devours your peace. The jealous saboteur who smiles while plotting your fall. The perpetual schemer who wastes your credibility, the ungrateful taker who erases your kindness, and the ideological leech who guilts you into funding their performance. If you recognize people in your life as you listen to this, good. That discomfort you're feeling is clarity breaking through the fog of your conditioning. You have been taught that helping everyone makes you a good person. Machiavelli knew better. Helping the wrong people makes you a fool, a dead fool. You are not obligated to save people who refuse to save themselves. You are not obligated to fund people who squander every opportunity. You are not obligated to sacrifice your peace, your resources, your future on the altar of someone else's dysfunction. This is not cruelty. This is discernment. This is survival. This is the difference between a king and a peasant. The peasant gives everything away and dies in poverty, believing he was noble. The king protects his kingdom so he can help those who are truly worthy. Machiavelli's wisdom is forbidden because it forces you to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And what it is a battlefield. Every interaction is a negotiation. Every relationship is a transaction. Some transactions are beautiful. They are reciprocal. They are growth-oriented. They are mutually beneficial. Those are the people you help. Those are the people you invest in. Everyone else is a drain. Cut them loose. Feel no guilt. They made their choices. You make yours. If this philosophy resonates with the part of you that is exhausted from carrying people who refuse to walk, then you know what to do. Subscribe, not because I need you to, but because you need a reminder. A reminder that your energy is sacred. A reminder that your time is finite. A reminder that you are allowed to be ruthless in your compassion. The world will call you cold. Let them. They are the ones being bled